So, the Premier League kicks off tomorrow at 7:45. Arsenal take on Leicester. Former champions Leicester. That's weird. That's really weird to think about that. So what I thought, oh, I'm going to do some Premier League predictions because I did some 2 years ago. And I think I may have predicted Leicester to be relegated and they won. Who does that? So I thought I'd give this another go. I'm going to try and be as just kind of wild as I possibly can. Because that way, then, if they come off, I look like a genius. And if I don't, I don't look like a genius. It's a win-win. It's a win-win. So, starting off in 20th position, I've gone with Brighton. And I know there's probably a few of you who've gone, how predictable. There is no safe, there is no smart choice here, because if you go with Brighton, who pretty much they should have won the championship, let's be honest, they got really unlucky, and then you choose another promoted team who have maybe got in 19th, there isn't really a lot between them because you both kind of come up. It's then just kind of a free-for-all. Championship form doesn't really count. So, I'm sorry, Brighton fans. The only thing I will say is that Chris Hughton, obviously the Brighton manager, has experience, brought Newcastle up, a bit different maybe with Newcastle, and then took over Norwich, but then did get relegated with Norwich, had maybe a bad run of form there. So, I mean, I don't know. I'd like to see them do well, but I just don't think they will. So I've got them, rock bottom, Soz, Brighton, Soz. 19th, I've got Huddersfield. For the same reason, but the only reason I've got them higher, because it seems like Huddersfield have been a bit more ambitious. They've gone, alright, this is going to be our only time. They've kind of accepted it already. And they've kind of just said, who wants to come to Huddersfield? And lots of people have come. I've got them too. That basically, I think everyone will agree. I think I will be right with them. Like, there's not really much you can do about that. In 18th, now this is going to be the one where a couple of people are going to be like, yeah, you what, man? 18th, I've got Stoke City. Now, hear me out. Stoke were pretty horrendous last season, and it's kind of miraculous that they didn't get relegated. I look at the team, and I looked before kind of all the transfers happened, and you thought, well, they've got Boney, oh, he's on loan. They've got an Antovic, oh, he's gone. Who they got left? Darren Fletcher and Joe Allen. That's the masterclass. Look at that. Look at that. You look up front, they've got Berahino, Juve, Crouch. Do you see what I'm saying? They had John Walters was their best striker, pretty much. He was the one scoring the goals. He's gone. It says a lot when John Walters leaves your team. To be honest, right, Mark Hughes, pretty good manager. He knows how to kind of hit the mid-table kind of mediocrity kind of thing. But I think this is going to be one step too far. And as a further prediction, I think Stoke will be so bad, kind of around December time, they'll sack Hughes. That's what I think. There we go. Then come the next chunk. I've done 17 to 14th. Pretty much any team can finish around here. So I don't really count this as if I predicted them to finish 15th. Oh, well done. It doesn't really matter. But anyway, 17th, I've got Crystal Palace. And the only reason I've got Crystal Palace there is because if they hold on to Benteke, I think they'll scrape it. And it's not because of the actual squad quality. I actually like Crystal Palace's squad. But the reason being is that they brought in Frank de Boer. Now, Frank de Boer, great player. Did really well with Ajax. Didn't do too well with Inter Milan, but it's not really that. It's more the point of, we have no idea what he's going to be like in the Prem, and he's not taking over a team that knows how to play together brilliantly, because even last season, they weren't, like, Allardyce did get them going, but now he's gone. I don't think De Boer would take on Allardyce's tactics. I think if it was a different type of manager, say it was Tony Pulis, boom, it's fine. But I think that's going to be the issue. I'd like them to do well, because I really do like their squad. 16th, I've got Burnley. But I don't. Originally I did this and I thought Burnley are sure to go down, but then I looked at the other kind of squads and I was like, well, Burnley have actually got an alright squad. Burnley was so bad away from home last season. That's only got to improve. That must be the one thing that Sean Dyche is working on. And if they improve that, I don't see, like, I can definitely see them beating the bottom four I put under them. So I mean, that's what I'm thinking about. John Walters as well. As I've mentioned before, John Walters doesn't really instill and like inspire people. And you say, oh, who's Burnley? John Walters up, fantastic. And it looks like they've sold Andre Gray to Watford for like 18 odd million, which I think is a ridiculous fee. I don't agree with that fee at all. But he was probably their best player, if really thinking about it. Although you've got kind of Jeff Hendricks, like, I don't know. I'm just kind of saying things now. 15th, Newcastle. And the only reason they're there is for Rafa Benitez. I don't think Rafa Benitez could take a relegation. Rafa Benitez, his main aim is to just get them safe. If he can get them safe, then he can build on it. He may leave, I don't know. But I mean, he can get them 15th, get them kind of in that kind of bottom table, the bottom kind of 6-ish. He can build on from there. But you look through the squad, they've got decent players. Like Dwight Gale is an interesting one because when he was at Crystal Palace, I didn't think he was bad, but he's not really good. So I think to be honest, he's kind of back at the same level, weirdly. He's dropped down just to come back to the same place. But the defence, like Newcastle's defence looks good. They've got a nice kind of good unit there. So I hope they'd be okay. I like Newcastle, if I'm honest. 14th, we've got Swansea City. Ooh, with Paul Clement. Now, this is a weird one as well, because Swansea are the type of team I think could go down. Because at the moment, they've still got Sigurdsson, but if I'm going to make another prediction, I'm pretty sure he will leave, and it will be for about 45 million quid, which is a great fee for a player who's like 27, 28. Definitely wants to go. He doesn't really want to stay at Swansea, I'm sure. So if they can get that money in, they could reinvest it well, but I think it's going to be so late. Who would they buy? Because they need a focal point in that team. Like, they have Leroy Fer, and Leroy Fer's a weird one because he's like on the cusp of being good, and you're like, oh, I think Leroy Fer's good. He's been relegated twice, I think. Tammy Abraham up front, that's a good one. But again, it's like the Patrick Bamford thing. And when Patrick Bamford came home to Middlesbrough, everyone was like, oh, he's finally going to do well. He's been absolutely bollocks, hasn't he? He is. So I fear for Swansea, but I put them up there just because I want to do predictions which I wouldn't normally do. So I think they will surprise people. That logic makes no sense. Next bit, we've got 12 to kind of 10th. Like, again, these are kind of teams that we know. We know this group of teams. They're not ever going to flirt with a relegation, but they're not going to break into Europe. In 12th, I've got Southampton. Now, the only thing I will say about Southampton, I remember when Pochettino came in and everyone said, oh, they're going to be relegated. And what did they do? They finished, like, 9th, I think. So I put them up there just because it'll probably happen again. They've kept hold of some... I don't think they've actually lost any players yet, which is miraculous. I know Van Dijk looks like he will go. I kind of hope for Southampton's sake that he does, because he definitely doesn't want to play. But they've got Ghiabardini up front, I think. Is that his name? They've got an Italian bloke up front who's mint. He was very good when he came in. They've got Charlie Austin, they've got Tadic. There's a couple of good kind of players in there. Fraser Forster in goal. They're pretty good. Now 11th, this is a team I hated last season. I don't want them in the Prem. They're not Premier League quality. I don't like their club. Watford. But I like them now, and it's because of Marco Silva. That's the only reason. Because I loved him so much at Hull. I was like, oh, who's this sexy Portuguese man? Oh, he's never going to do any good with the worst team in the Prem. Oh, he actually nearly kept them up. He nearly kept up a team that only had like 13 squad players at the start of the season. So that is he is God. He is God. I'd like to push them up higher, but I just don't think they will. They're making some interesting signings as well. Will Hughes is a good one. They've got Nathan Shabala as well from Chelsea, and then they brought in Andre Gray, which Andre Gray's a weird one because I don't know if he's going to be any good. We've never really seen, like, he had a good game against Liverpool. 10th, Bournemouth. Everyone bloody loves Bournemouth. You will not find anyone who says, I hate Bournemouth, I want them relegated. You won't, because you love everything about Bournemouth. You love the way they play. They copy Arsenal. You love Eddie Howe because he's young and English and a bit sexy, ginger kind of thing going on. They've all just kind of come up together, and I feel it's a very patriotic, heroic loyalty thing going on there. But to be honest, I think they know how to grind out results. I think they know what to do, and I just don't think they're going to get any higher, to be honest. And I think what will happen, if they do kind of finish 10th, if they finish anywhere between 8th and 12th, Eddie Howe will go to a bigger club. It's just bound to happen. Like, I think he would fit, say, a West Ham or someone, or maybe even like an Everton, I don't know, or a Southampton. Next, we've got 9th, 8th and 7th. These are the teams I don't think will get relegated at all, but they may have a very outside chance of Europe. 9th, West Ham. Hey! They've done the best transfer business ever. And people are really downplaying it, saying, oh, is Joe Hart any good? Joe Hart is good. Like, Joe Hart is not a bad goalkeeper by any... He's a bit, right, he loses his head a little bit. It's not the best thing when you come back and you're like, oh, I'm the number 1 for Manchester City. Oh, the new manager, supposedly the best in the world, doesn't want me. Oh, my confidence. That's why it's not... And then he got flogged off to Italy. He wanted to go to, like, another... Look, he's not bad. He'll be back in England. It'll be fine. It'll probably be England number 1 again. That's probably what will happen. Zabaleta, pretty for free. Zabaleta, experience, Premier League winner. And then you've got Chicharito. Oh, my God. I'm so excited for the return of Chicharito. The little P is back. Hello, little P. Hello. Because you look at kind of West Ham's attacking players. They've got Lanzini. They've got Snodgrass, although people are kind of laughing at that kind of transfer now. They've got Antonio. They've got Andy Carroll when he's kind of fit, if he's ever fit. So they've got a nice kind of group up front. They've got a solid defence. Slaven Bilic knows all about defence. I trust that man anyway. Hart in goal is good. And then they've got Arnautovic. And Arnautovic goes in that kind of front kind of attacking bit anyway. So I mean, I think West Ham could potentially be a bit higher. But I think if they kind of get that kind of 9th area, they're good. Everyone's happy with that. 8th, former champions Leicester. Now this, I thought long and hard about this because I know everyone else has kind of done the same thing. You think about Leicester and you think, well, they've got Shakespeare back in charge. We look at the back end of last season when Shakespeare took over and there was such a good positive boost. Because you know they could win it. Like I know it sounds stupid, but I mean they could just repeat what they did. It could just happen again, couldn't it? It's happened before. What if Shakespeare just sits down and goes, all right, we'll just play that way. We'll just do that thing every game again. And they've got qulity and Nacho up front now. I don't know. I'm just saying, if Leicester do win again, well, I'm just saying I said it first. I said it first. Mystic Meg. 7th, Everton. And it makes me sad because, like, you know what? I had them as high as 5th at one point in this and I was like, no, I can't do it. The only reason why is Wayne Rooney. If they had not signed Wayne Rooney and signed, say, an Iheanacho, maybe, or someone who is fast and exciting and knows how to score. Like, Wayne Rooney did know how to score, but this is what... The thing that confuses me is that we know Wayne Rooney used to be a mint striker, right? He was good, he was young, he had hair, it was great. Now, he's old, and he's slow, and he doesn't seem to have that kind of drive that he used to have about... Like, that kind of directness is gone. It seems a bit kind of... Like he's a bit kind of tentative about it. I just wish they'd signed someone better, because Lukaku is a big hole to fill, especially Lukaku's rate against the bottom 10 teams or whatever was incredible. He didn't score against the top 6, so it's very important that they had him because at least he was scoring against the teams below them, so they wouldn't fall any lower. I put them 7th though because I still think they've got enough. I really like the signs they've made. Keane is great. Davy Klassen, I'm probably mispronouncing that, but I think he's a very exciting signing. Sandro seems like a good one as well. There is definitely a lot of buzz about Everton, and I think it's good. I think if they finish 7th, that's good. Koeman, good job. Love you, buddy. And then they go on and buy a star striker, and then that's when they could push up. Here's the bit we've all been waiting for. You've all been thinking, what's he done? He's an Arsenal fan, what's he done? I've probably let you down. In 6th. I'm not... By the way, as well, I know you will not agree with these. I know that loads of people will not agree with these. And I don't really agree with them as well. But you know what? I just want to mix it up. And I'm going to explain my reasoning and just see. 6th, Chelsea. Definitely wrong. There's 2 reasons why I've said this. 1... Diego Costa, it doesn't matter if Diego Costa leaves, but the problem is Antonio Conte seems like a very kind of stubborn man. He knows what he likes. He likes his 3 at the back, right? He loves his wing backs, and he likes this kind of way he plays. Diego Costa, whoever's fault it was, I don't know. I don't know if it was Costa's fault being a monkey man that he is, or it is Antonio Conte's fault by thinking that he would have got rid of him. The problem is, Diego Costa is still the best striker of that club. Morata's great. No, I love Morata, cool guy, but he's not as good as Costa. Costa is kind of this idiot, a big, strong target man who bullies defenders. It's horrible, but it's beautiful at the same time. Morata won't do that. Morata runs in between the lines. Morata is clever, he's skillful, but he's not a Costa. And I can't see Conte buckling, basically. I can't see Conte starting Morata for, say, 5 games, no goals, nothing happening up front, turning to Diego Costa and going, all right, you can have a go. He's going to go to Batshuayi, and Batshuayi's okay, but he's not a Costa, and I think that'll cost him. The other reason is they're now in the Champions League, and I think the people upstairs in Chelsea, Abramovich mainly, they want the Champions League. They don't really care about the league. If they won it last year, why would they kind of care about it? They'll want the Champions League. That's why they'll finish 6th. 5th, Tottenham. And this isn't because I'm an Arsenal fan, really. Again, the reasoning is they're in the Champions League, and I think that Tottenham fans are going to care a lot about the Champions League. Tottenham fans want European success. They want league success. But I think if you gave them a choice, semi-finals in the Champions League or the league, I reckon a lot of them would take semi-finals in the Champions League. So I reckon that would be a real kind of strain on them. And the second thing is, they're playing at Wembley. Did you see them last season? They weren't good at Wembley. They were okay on I think the Juventus game. That was the only one I can remember. They got beat by like Roma. Like Roma are okay, but Roma are not Spurs level. We can comfortably say that Spurs are a big difference. There is a big difference there. So that's what I think will happen. 4th, Liverpool, and this is, again, I'm kind of using the same reasoning of, oh, they're in the Champions League, but this is my reasoning. I think they'll get knocked out of the Champions League in the group stage, and I don't think the other two will. I think Liverpool will come out of it. Liverpool will be alright. They've made some good signings. I think 4th would be a good achievement. I think that's what's been missing for Liverpool. They want the Champions League nights back at Anfield. Jurgen Klopp's done a good job. I don't know if they've got the kind of... I don't think they've got the next level. They need like 3 quality players, because you kind of look at like, is Mignolet really like, and Karius? They haven't really done anything. Like Karius was a decent keeper, and he's come over and just not really shone yet. Like I know you're saying, oh, but Mignolet had loads of clean sheets. Yeah, but I mean, it's just not. He just doesn't give the impression, that commanding presence that you want, like a Czech or a Courtois or a De Gea kind of gives, and that's what we want. So they're 4th. I think they'll be happy with 4th, knocked out in the group stage. 3rd, it's Arsenal. And so many people are leaving a comment saying, "You knob." I think this is what Arsene Wenger is thinking. This is the best opportunity. This is the best opportunity to win the league in a very long time, because the 5 other teams are in the Champions League, right? That's all they care about. You know that Pep cares about it. You know that Mourinho cares about it. You know that Conte cares about it. And this is the only chance, right? Albeit we're in the Europa League, right? Europa League, a great competition. Got so much respect for it. But I hope, I don't have any respect for it, I'm lying. I think Wenger will play the youth in the Europa League. Like maybe a touch of a player here and there, maybe a Jenkinson, a Gibbs, you know, sprinkle them in somehow. Really, he's got to go for it. I think this is the chance to kind of end all this kind of Wenger out stuff. People would say, okay, he knows how to win a title. He knows what to do now. He's not gone mad, basically. And I think he should. But even with that in, I've already put him 3rd. Lacazette is a great signing as well. I reckon he'll be a Golden Boot winner. Harry Kane, piss off. So, I've got 2 clubs left. Both are Manchester clubs. I think that everyone else has predicted this as well. So, obviously, it's not going to happen. In 2nd place, I've gone for Manchester United. Ooh, and I'll tell you the reason why. It comes down to one thing. If you put Mourinho in charge of the Man City squad, I reckon he'd win. It's Lukaku. I don't even think Lukaku is that great. If I'm honest, Lukaku. The good thing about it, obviously, is that Lukaku is very young. So in a couple of years, he'll know how to play against big teams. He'll know how to use his kind of presence more, because he doesn't. He's not. He kind of feels like a Michael Owen inside a Heskey's body. That's what it kind of feels like when I'm watching him. But the problem is, it's too soon. It's too soon. All this pressure, and it's not going to work. The only thing I do hope is that Ibrahimovic does sign with Man United again, and he can like teach him a little bit. That would be nice. That would be nice. And of course, in first place, I've gone for Man City. One, Pep. This is your only. If Pep doesn't win, he's sacked, and his reputation is tarnished. It is tarnished. He will then go on to manage teams in Saudi Arabia and India and China. That's what's going to happen. So it's that bad. He can't get away with winning the FA Cup. He can't get away with winning the League Cup. He could get away with winning the Champions League, and maybe he'll do well in the Champions League. Maybe he would. The squad is perfect, in my opinion. It is the only place is a centre back, but even then, the centre backs they've got are pretty damn good. Otamendi, Stones, Company. That's fine. That is fine. So, Man City to win it. There we go. We did all the things. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching it. This is going to be quite long. But I mean, I think I've done my fair bit of explaining them. Probably not in the detail of some other people. But you know what? I'm me. Also, I do want to quickly say, I would like to do more of these kind of videos talking to you about football. Now, my football knowledge isn't the best, but I enjoy it. And I like to think that it's enjoyable watching me talk about it. So, if you like the idea of me kind of talking about maybe like a Premier League kind of review thing after kind of the matches have been played at the weekend, just leave a little comment just saying, that sounds great. And that'll make me happy. Also, follow me on Twitter. It's in the link in the description and things like that. And also, leave a like if you liked it and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Anyway, so, I guess we'll react to these in like 9 months and see how we got on when Leicester have been crowned the champions. A good night.